Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Log execute.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Yugioh, the Duelists of the Roses. This will be our final episode. In the last episode, we took on Yugioh at Brest and managed to defeat him in one of the most humiliating ways that I could think of, by having swordsmen from a foreign land actually do it. This time, however, we have encountered Manawyddan Fab Llyr after Seto summoned him last episode, thinking that he would grant all the power that he needed. However, he was the wrong guardian. So, it is up to us to finally defeat this version of Manawyddan Fab Llyr and save the world from him trying to destroy every living being on this planet. So, let's go. Prepare to meet your doom. Now that is actually rather apt, considering I said that this guy is the strongest opponent in this game. As you can see, like the other version of Manawyddan Fab Llyr and Seto, he plays on a Stonehenge-inspired field. However, all the normal tiles, or crush tiles, are dark terrain in this version. And we can see that he actually has a pretty scary-looking deck leader. The whole reason that this is far more difficult, in my opinion, is that the crush terrain made the other version of Manawyddan Fab Llyr a lot easier to deal with. The dark terrain is going to make a lot of things difficult, because we can't just hide in the center of the field to protect our deck leader. And of course he had that for his first move. Okay, well now no traps can be activated, so we're in a bit of a bind. So let's see if we can try and overwrite that as quickly as we can, because without that, my Gorgon's Eye is pretty much useless. And of course he had Barrel Dragon. Okay, this is going to be rather tricky. Strong monster out the gate. Well, let's just... Well, you know what? Can't use that trap, but we can overwrite Royal Decree. We can make use of it. So let's see if we can bait him into... he just took all of my summoning power. Well, that sucks. Okay. That's not good. Let's wait and see what he does, and then maybe we can use Earthshaker to change things around just a little. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Because that will shift his card's position randomly. So maybe it can get us into a position that we can take advantage of. Okay, good. Let's summon this here. Actually, you know what? Let's fuse these two, because I know that they can fuse from our battle with Richard a few episodes back. And it'll make something pretty strong. And now we're actually in a pretty good position, so good that I kept that in my deck despite its high deck cost. Let's overwrite his royal decree, so now all of our trap cards are fine. And actually, where is... Yeah, got that. So let's just... You know what, let's... Just gonna toss this out there. Not expecting much, but will probably be better than what we can make use of. Invisible wire, thankfully took care of that. And unfortunately, that overrode our Gorgon's Eye. He's got Toon Summon Skull there, so that's a bit dangerous. Gate Dig, that automatically gives him full summoning power, so he's got plenty of ways to drain that. I also think that this guy has Riroku like the other version, so that's also pretty dangerous. Let's see what to do. Well, let's just put Key Mason. And we'll just wait right here because all of his monsters are... Actually, you know what? Let's make this attack. That way we'll get ahead in the fight, because he left Gate Dig in attack mode, so... Now, this could be a little tricky, considering what we've got going on, but it should be fine. And we know what that is. Yeah, he's got some pretty strong monsters that he made use of that. Made use of all those summoning power draining cards to really put us on the back foot, but thankfully we've managed to overcome him with Earthshaker. Like, that was a risky strategy, but it ended up paying off. So, that actually went a lot smoother than I thought it would. Was a little trickier than the other version, but hey, did well. And for the last time, we're gonna get some graveyard slots, though. As with the last Manawyddan family we fought, not much to get. Though Gate Dig would be nice. I don't really care, since this is our final episode. And even getting 3 fake traps in a row doesn't get us anything, so oh well. No! No! This is not justice. I cannot lose! Impossible! No! The summoning is undone. My family. Legend has it that my family was the only noble line to actually enter into a pact of glory with a card guardian. But sometime in the past, the pact was broken for reasons that are veiled in the mists of history. For generations, our family has searched the world in the hopes of finding the same card guardian to revive the pact and the glory that was once ours. Since the day I inherited the Book of M at Dunkel, I've searched far and wide. Many are the guardians I've awakened, only to return them to their resting place. To date, my search for the one true guardian goes unrewarded. You can't imagine how excited I was when I'd come to England and learned of the Rose Duelist legend. Needless to say, the result was anticlimactic, at best. Seto, I would say it's far less than anticlimactic. I'd say it's kind of deserved, considering you've tried this however many times throughout who knows how long. Whatever. I apologize for dragging you into all this. I will honor my promise of returning you to your own age. However, I fear that that is not enough to repay you for your help. Wait. Here, take this back with you. I will continue in my quest to find the one true guardian. Perhaps it is my destiny to fail, but my descendants shall carry on the search. Should you meet such a descendant of mine, show this rose pendant. For from this day onward, my family is ever in your debt, and will lend whatever support is within their powers to provide. This I promise as an eternal pledge, a pledge of roses. In the days that followed, the mystic barrier maintained by the sorcery of the cards faded away, leaving England's shores vulnerable to invasion. In August of 1485, Yugioh, Henry Tudor, successfully landed in Milford Haven. Defeating Richard III in battle at Bosworth, Yugioh was crowned King Henry VII. The Tudor reign was to continue on until Elizabeth I. As for Seto and the Rose Crusaders, they disappeared from England, never to be seen or heard from again. The only record of their existence remains in the form of an inscription carved on the back of the rose pendant. Man is born to die, but the pledge of the roses is born to live throughout all eternity. It is a pledge recorded in mystic numbers, Y34PN1SV, which actually was the Earthshaker code, if I recall correctly. Yugioh, the Duelists of the Roses, White Rose Chapter, End. So, yeah, in the end, Seto ended up failing. He summoned a card guardian, but it wasn't the right one. We had to save everything, but at least he upheld his promise to return us to our own proper time period. And even decided to have his descendants help us in whatever way they could, through a pledge of roses. Honestly, the more honorable ending. Granted, not the most honorable path to get here, but what are you going to do? Anyway, I'm not going to save. After you win, you do end up getting a free roam mode, but I won't be going into that. So, as the credits start, let's go over thoughts on the project. Honestly, I really like this game. It was one of my first Yu-Gi-Oh games, and it honestly held a special place in my heart. It's one of the most out there premises, as you've no doubt seen from this playthrough. What with all the War of the Roses combined with Yu-Gi-Oh just doesn't seem like something that would fit, but whoever ended up making this game really thought things through and made a cohesive story. It was a lot of fun. The deck layer concept and perfect rule with movement and everything shook up the gameplay in a way that most Yu-Gi-Oh games wouldn't have done at this time, and it was really rather confident. And actually, the deck layer concept would end up coming into the anime later after this game was made, so it was maybe interesting to see how the game ended up influencing the anime, considering that was actually a filler arc. But anyway, I won't say that it was 100% perfect. I mean, while I did like the two campaigns that we had, there is a lot of room for improvement. One, the deck leader abilities, I feel like the ranking system is kind of archaic. It's very slow and requires a lot of dueling to get every monster to get your monster to the highest rank possible to get the abilities. And another thing is that dueling in this game in general is kind of limited by the fact that you have to duel with a deck cost lower than your opponent to be able to duel them at all, which I feel like that should only be for a rose card. But anyway, I'm just gonna say quickly that if I were to do this again, or if I were to make this game myself, I would have made it that collecting the rose cards unlocks abilities, winning duels with a monster, or just any of the favorable things to be able to create a monster as a deck leader would be what I would do for the initial step. And then as you get the rose cards for either side, you unlock the abilities, with weaker monsters getting more abilities while stronger monsters have the raw power. But anyway, with all of that, that's... Oh, and I would also make it so that you don't have to duel opponents with a lower deck cost to just duel them regularly. If you just wanted to duel them regularly, use any deck cost you want, but if you want a rose card, use a lower deck cost. Anyway, with that all taken care of, I'm going to be ending things off here. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that it'll be at least a little bit before we actually do any more Let's Plays. Need to take some time, really think things through. But I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected. Simulator reconnection at 96%.